So here you've got a list of your info that we go with. Now, typically, if you're an experienced runner, you'll have your power of 10 listed here in your training plan. A little bit more information as we click on those, just on what we're starting with and how that goes. So you know where you are as a prerequisite and what your training plan looks like. I'll also put a picture of it there so you can print it off if you ever lose the other one, etc. In here, we've got a bit more information about where you are at the starting point, maybe what you're running for your 5Ks, your 10Ks, maybe a half marathon. As we go through this, you just simply have tab by tab. So one of the key parts we have here that wasn't mentioned earlier is your weekly mobility calls. Every Friday, starting from this Friday coming, you guys have access to a live mobility call. For those that are currently having them or had them in the past, you'll know that that's something that I always will do in my garden, whatever the weather, if it snows, if it's sunny, and we have a couple of key things that focus on the right routine. Once again, guys, this is all going to be written down in a fact sheet. You don't need to take notes. The fact sheets are listed just here. And this is just a few things about your week by week step and exactly what is included. So you just click on the fact sheet, it comes up as a big screen. So here's the one that I've been looking at a moment ago. Here we go. This is your detailed plans. These are the things that I focus on here. This is the feedback that I go through, and there's the next bits that I talk about in a moment. So here is your marathon plan. So each section you can see on here, when you receive your plan, you actually have the full 20 weeks of fact sheets on nutrition, on cramping, on mindset, on race day checklists, on all of the things you can see through here, even up to avoiding post-marathon blues. And therefore you can get ahead of the game and understand some of the key things that you need to note on how to optimize your marathons. And I'd love to know, guys, if you guys have covered all these topics before on any other marathon plan. There's nothing that I've received from those. Like I say, it is intense, but equally, it's just how you want to make the most of it. So I cover each of those topics in detail, week by week. So you've got it there, but equally, guys, I will talk you through it. If you're not very sort of admin orientated, you just focus on listening and I'll talk you through it and answer questions. Okay. We have the strength links. So we've got a few strength links here, which are just follow along routines. If you're looking for like resistant bands to protect the ankles, the calves, if you're looking for core workouts and bits too. Then you have your pacing. Kilometers, if you work best in minute kilometers, and this is the first interactive challenge I'm going to get you guys to do. Otherwise, you're just listening to me. So I want you to choose one of these, kilometers or miles, okay? And your challenge I set now, guys, is going to be to have a look on the chat at the bottom. There's just a little sort of speech. Click on that and just write what you prefer. Are you a miles bloke or gal? Are you a kilometers one? So just put in miles or km. That's the first one to go for. Cheers, guys. Great to see. Flying in, lovely stuff. Okay, let's check it out. Let's check out the chat. Whoa, okay, it's a kilometers crew today. Will says, is this accessible on the app as well? On the Airtable app, the answer is yes. So it's all easily accessible. You will have an Airtable app on your phone if you use Android or iPhone. So you can pick this plan up on your phone. Also, you can add it onto your desktop. Then you just click on a link that I send you and it just pops up onto your desktop. If you've never come across this before, you have to do a brief login. And then you just save it onto your desktop or those, which is just name and email, I think, which is all you need to do on those. And then you've got accessible to phone and to desktop. So Kate's kilometers, Dan's kilometers, Will's kilometers, Anita's kilometers. And then Mags mixes it up with miles. We've got Matt on the kilometers, Caroline's miles crew, Pippa's on the miles. Laura's on the kilometers, Melanie's on the miles, and we've got Mary on the miles. Nice work, guys. Thank you. Brilliant. Good to know. So with that in mind, like you say, you've got all different paces. You've got your easy, steady, lactic thresholds. As you can see on this page, your half marathon paces, your marathon pace tempos, just a rough idea of what's going on at the start. Can these change? Yes. It's just to give you an idea of what type of pacing we're doing for certain sessions and so forth. That's just an idea too. And equally, for some of you, I don't know your exact paces, so I'm going off the feedback I've checked out from Strava, from your feedback as well. But a lot of that's quite technical. So with that, I have a definition of what easy means. So with this one, it's a pace that's not too taxing on the body. For you, Pippa, it'd be running with the team when you're going off with the girls as well. Typically, this could be your Sunday social with people a little bit slower than you. We talk about the steadies, which is really about taking that fast-paced 5Ks, 10Ks, etc., onto the endurance aspects too. And then I've got a terminology key to really tell you a bit more about the jargon, to make sure that you're down with the kids, as it were. You've got this as well. Guys, this is all here just to help you move forwards. It is not as complicated as it sounds when you first look at it, because you can skip all of this, go past the marathon fact sheets, and you can just come on to the first week. And this is how simple it is. It literally just tells you Monday through to Sunday, week 1. You can see here, you've got the dates of that first week. And here you've got your different sections. So it tells you exactly what you're looking to do. 3.1 miles for this individual, or 5K for those of you that are in your kilometers at marathon pace. You know what your marathon pace is because you press this button and it comes up. Amazing. Now on there, you have a web link that you can just click on and it takes you straight to your follow along video. You also have your splits if you want to add an attachment, or maybe a nice picture of a beautiful view over the North South Downs or whatever. And then you've got this, as I mentioned before, the most important part of your plan, your feedback section. So in here said, this was harder than expected. It's my first session. Had a long day on my feet at work, and I have just added this in. This is a typical thing that would come up. And a little dehydrated, should consider that for my next training run. And I replied, and you just tagged me with an @ sign, and it comes up on my notifications. Say with looking through every single note, but that just comes up as a one there as well. Or you can message me, which is cool. Great feedback. Name, and noted that the best training prep equals to the best outcomes. Cool. So on here, you can have whatever you like, guys. So on this one itself, if I just move a few things about, we've got weight, we've got sleep, we've got resting heart rates. All these things can come up. So that's all key. And it literally just goes week 2, week 3, week 4. It just goes step by step. So you don't need to worry too much about week 8, week 9, week 10, which is often done as you look over a plan. You look over at the scary bits, right? Pippa nods, I love it. Yeah, and that is what most people would do. But the most important thing that you'll find, that I say time and time again on this, from a mindset point of view, is control what you can control and stay in the moment. So we just focus and we just put our blinkers on week 1, session 1, session 2, and you just tick it off on your plan. If it needs to move and change, then we can swap them around. We just drop Ben a message and just go, okay, to swap Thursday and Tuesday around. Would that be a hassle? No, absolutely fine. Great. And then we just do that. And that's really, really important. Everything in this plan is flexible. From this call tonight, goes onto a replay, 9 o'clock, goes live onto the WhatsApp group and onto the Facebook group, so that you have access to the replay if you can't make this one. For example, you're out with the family, friends, anniversaries, birthdays, etc. The Friday morning session, the mobility at 7:30, equally gets replayed down there for 9 a.m, goes onto the WhatsApp group, goes onto the Facebook group for future replays, because WhatsApp disappears after a few messages, and you can watch that one at a time that suits you. And then your plan moves around based on you. Ideally, we have to hit every single one of those sessions, and the golden rule is not hard sessions, so you don't bunch them all up and chase fitness. We look to make the most of a tough session, recovery, etc. But I want to make sure this is flexible around your lives, guys. It's so key. All right, I'm going to stop the share there. I hope that gave you a little bit of insight